Hello and welcome to The Financial Dad, where I, your average young adult, ask my dad, your not so average financial advisor, all of my burning finance questions. And yes, this is my real dad. Investing is one of the topics that young adults these days are the most interested in. We're going to give you all of the basics so you know what you should do with your money. So let's start with, how do you know you're ready to start investing? Is there a basic dollar amount you should have saved already? How do you know the time is right?
There are some financial planning rules of thumb to this. Certainly, you know, your basic bills are covered. You're paying back debt at a reasonable rate. You're not falling behind financially in some other way. You've taken care of other major needs that you have. Typically, before you're doing a lot of long-term investing, you'll also have your first house, just in general. A dollar amount isn't really necessary. Well, there's one other thing that you probably should have, which is an emergency fund. In other words, at least a couple, 2 to 3 months of financial planning says 6 months, but 2 to 3 months of money laid aside in the event that there's something, an emergency of some type that you need the money for. But once you have kind of covered those basic things, or you're starting to invest in a company retirement plan, for example, you're ready. You're ready to go forward with that. So that would be the point I would tell someone. Yeah, it's fine. Start investing for the long term now.
Once you're kind of set up and have
I would say that's a reasonable way to put it.
And what are the main reasons you say people would start investing?
Well, towards a variety of goals that they would have. The first one would be retirement for themselves, wanting one day to be able to be financially independent, whether that's when they're 40, 45, or 65,
nice.
Whatever. Yeah, that would be nice. Whatever it is, they're investing toward that goal. The second major goal is towards college education for their children. So in most college funding investing, you have to have a basic understanding of investments to make good decisions about what to do with that. Because in all cases, you are going to be asked how you want to invest the money if you're saving it towards a college funding goal.
So it's good to have a notion of what's going on.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Yep. Those are the two biggest ones. Some people are trying to save, say, for a second home one day, or something special like that. But the major ones are retirement and college once you've taken care of buying your first home.
Okay. So where do you start when you're investing? I've heard of this relationship between risk and reward. Wondering if you can elaborate on that a little.
Sure. There are some things that are pretty true over and over again in investing money, and it may not feel like it at a given moment, but it is true. And that is that, generally speaking, the less risk you take with your money, the less you risk losing money, the less return you will earn on that money. So, for example, you put the money in the bank, you really don't have much risk of losing it. On the other hand, you only earn 1 or 2% per year on the money. It's not a big return.
Yeah.
By comparison, you take the risk of being in the stock market. We can talk about the history of the stock market over time. You are hoping to earn maybe 8 or 10% per year, but you're taking the risk that the stocks could go down in value dramatically, tens of percentages, 50%, things like that. And that's the risk that you're taking, hoping to earn over a long period of time, 8 to 10% per year.
More of it.
So the greater risk taking that you did, if it's done in a prudent fashion, a diversified, well-managed fashion, you typically should earn a higher return over a long period of time.
And normally, or I guess you can tell me this, do people normally invest over a long period? Are there times when people just invest for a short period of time? Or, what can you kind of expect when you're starting?
Well, every goal that you're investing for has a time horizon to it. So when you're investing for a house, if you're hoping to get the house within 3 years or 5 years, that's your time horizon.
3 to 5 year investment.
And you should be investing in things where that's an appropriate time frame. Generally speaking, and this is close to advice, but this is sort of what a lot of financial planners would say, 3 to 5 years is too short a time window to put money into the stock market, because you could as easily lose money in that time window as make money in that time window.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why they will give that advice often. But when you're investing towards college funding, let's say, or towards retirement, for college funding, you're talking about an 18-year window of time when you're, trying to save for a child. Retirement, if you're, 30, 35, 25, you're talking about 30, 40 years that you are planning to be invested. And those are the kinds of time windows where the stock market has a chance to, you can ride out ups and downs and
make it out on top.
Correct, in the stock market.
You mentioned the stock market history. Is that, looking into that, would that be a way to assess potential risk and reward? It
would, because it would tell you what reward potential there is and what risks you have to be prepared for also. And this is just what's called market risk. We're just talking about the risk of the market overall moving. Any individual stock is subject to other and greater risk than the market overall. Okay. But the history of the stock market, what I said earlier, is pretty much the return history. You average about 8 to 10% per year over 10-year, 15-year, 20-year long cycles of time investing in the stock market. That's typically what people have earned over those kinds of long periods of time, if they have a well-diversified average kind of a portfolio of stock holdings. The kind of risks, though, periodically, there are, on a regular basis, there are what are called corrections, and that typically is something like a 10% drop in values. There is a bear market every 3 to 5 years. That's typically a 20% drop in values. Get ready. Every so often, at the very beginning of the pandemic, the U.S. stock market dropped about 30% in about 3 weeks, 37% in 3 weeks. Now, it came back within 6 months.
Yeah.
So as we all kind of got used to what this was and started to learn, okay, it doesn't actually kill everybody. The whole earth is not going to be wiped out here. The stock market came back and was ultimately went on to higher highs after that. But every so often there's a 50% downturn in the market. We had 50% downturns just recently in 2008 when we had a very big banking crisis. 1999, 2000, 2001, when we had what was called the dot-com bubble burst, because prices of technology stocks had become far overvalued. 1973, it happened, to 1974. The biggest stock market problem of the last 100 years or so was the Great Depression, and the stock market from 1929 to about 1937 went down about 72%. So if you had held on to your stocks in that time, on average, you would have lost about 72% of your money. Now, that was an extraordinary event because the entire banking system failed everywhere in the country and around the world, quite frankly. So there weren't the kinds of protections in place then that exist today.
So we've learned.
To protect. We have learned, and we have changed, we have adapted, I'd like to think anyway. So that type of loss, one really wouldn't expect, I don't think, at this point. But those 50% losses, when things get overvalued dramatically, when things are really kind of getting separated from value, from the true value of a company or a stock or things like that, that's when these things tend to be most common.
Okay.
And so, so there are risks in the stock market. They're painful to go through.
Yeah.
I've been in this business since before 1987, when the stock market dropped 25% in one day. 508.69 points on October 19th, 1987. You knew I would be able to reel off one of those, right? So, I mean, that was an extraordinary day to live through as a person that gives investment advice to people. And by the way, we don't know any better than anybody else what to say at that point, other than
when something fails you.
If you're planning on holding for 10 years, don't do anything, because
don't take it out.
Don't take your money out. You don't want to sell it at the bottom. Who knows where the bottom is, So it's not any easier for investment advisors when these kinds of events happen than it is for anybody else. But the one thing that we know from market history is that these things go down, but they also come back up.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of being able to be there long enough
Weathering
for the
the
rebound.
storm.
Correct. Correct. So yes, stocks, that's kind of the history of the stock market. And it's a lot of people have made a lot of money in the stock market. People have made a lot of money in other kinds of asset classes as well. But the stock market is the most common one. It is the most accessible. We have the most liquid and accessible stock market in the world in the United States. So it's that's why it's what people talk about, you know.
Yeah, when you're just starting out. You mentioned the term asset classes. Would you mind letting me know what that means?
Well, an asset class is a type of vehicle that you could be invested in. So a stock, a bond, which is a debt.
What you're investing in.
Correct. What you're investing in. A bond. You can invest in bonds. You can invest in coins, gold, precious metals. You can invest in natural resources like oil and gas. You can invest in real estate. So, you know, they're commodities.
Okay.
There are just a series of different types of things that you can invest in, and that all have different return attributes and have different ways of investing into them as to how you're able to invest into them.
Well, that was a great start to our investment journey, and make sure you click on to the next video where we started on the second part. Thanks so much for watching this video. If you have any questions for us, feel free to reach us at our website, and make sure to click on to the next.